Well, welcome to this Shorthand New Feature Spotlight webinar. I'm your host. I'm Dawn Murden, VP of Customer Success here at Shorthand, and thank you ever so much for joining. This webinar will last 30 minutes in total, and this session is recorded, so fear not if you want to pass it on to someone or refer back to it afterwards. It will be made available. I'm also showing a shorthand story here today, so I will share that afterwards so that you can have a look through the resources. And let's go through a little bit of the agenda today. So firstly, a bit of an introduction into these sessions and a little bit more about me as your host. And we'll talk about 3 different features today. So we're going to go through password protected stories, analytics export, and then also social video generator as well. After that, I'll share some next steps and follow-up resources that you can kind of peruse in your own time and some suggestions of what to do afterwards. And then I'll stick around for a few minutes at the end just to see if there are any questions at all. And so yeah, sort of share how you can connect with me and our team afterwards if you do have any kind of additional questions that you might like to go through. So firstly, a bit of an introduction into these sessions, what they're about, and then also me as well. So firstly, these new features spotlight sessions, this is the second in this new series that we're running, and we're running approximately 4 of these sessions a year. The idea of them really is to just show the new features that we've launched recently in Shorthand and to help you get the most out of Shorthand and elevate your stories with our brand new features. Often things can be sort of released and you might miss them or see it, so it's really good to just come together to have this time, kind of look at these features and how they might be used. Sometimes we'll have examples of how they're being used by other customers. Sometimes we won't, and we'll just kind of go through a bit of a tutorial on how to use them, and of course, answer any questions that you might have. Each of these are hosted by a member of our Shorthand's customer success team, and today that's me. So just a little bit about me. Hello, I'm Dawn. I'm based just outside of London in the UK, in a little place called Chesham. I joined Shorthand back in 2017 as a training and support manager. I previously worked as a journalist in National Women's Weekly magazines before moving into business journalism. And now I have the absolute honour of leading our Shorthand customer success team here. So great to meet you all. So let's go into our first feature then. And what I will do is I will turn my video off now because it's more important you see the features themselves rather than me. So firstly, password protected stories. So what is this? So this feature allows you to publish password protected stories with a one-time password. This is fantastic for a whole host of different content, such as publishing internal comms, locked down newsletters or magazines, and even things like sales proposals, as we're seeing this being used for at the moment. This is an add-on, and you'll need to contact us to get this added to your workspace. But it's a really fantastic feature. So it gives you another kind of layer of where you publish your stories to. So you have kind of 3 choices when you're publishing your stories. You can publish them publicly, either on Shorthand hosting or to your own domain. You can publish them to sort of only visible to the link. So when you share that link with others, they'll be able to access that story. And then finally, we have the password protection stories as well, which are more locked down. And as we say, you get a one-time password to access those, and you can input a list of different email addresses to grant access to these stories. And you can also revoke access as well if needed. And you can also schedule an unpublish of these stories, which is fantastic. So if, for example, if it's like a proposal or a sales proposal, it might only need to be active or public for a kind of a limited time. So then you can kind of, revoke that, either revoke access to particular people, or you can schedule that unpublish. So we'll move to a bit of a tutorial on this so you can see how it works. And I'll just show you with the story that I'm working from today. So you go into publish, And as I say, you get 3 different options here. So you have public, so everyone can view that. It's going to be crawled by search engines. Anyone with the link, so only those with the link can see it, and then restricted access. So as you see, if I choose that restricted access, it's now going to ask me to publish to a temporary restricted access shorthand hosting domain that I've set up, which is shorthand training OTP, stands for one time password demo, .shorthandsecure.com. So this is what it is by default on the shorthand hosting, but we do offer custom domains on this as well. So you could mask this with your own domain, so that of course when you're sending it to people, it's got your brand name or your company name in there. And then when you're publishing, you can choose who this is going to be sent to before you publish. So you can add a list of email addresses here. So for example, my email is dawn@shorthand.com. So I can add myself into here, and then I can publish to that URL. And then that will send me an email saying that I have access to that story. And then within my email account, I would click on that link, and then it would send me another email with a one-time password so that I can access that. And here you also see where you can either revoke all or revoke, sort of individual access to the story. And you can also schedule an unpublish of this as well. If you would like to see this in action and kind of what it looks like when it's shared to you, if you could put a thumbs up within the webinar chat, that would be great. I did wonder about sending this to everyone who is registered for this today, but I wanted to ensure it's only sent to attendees who are interested. So if you could put a thumbs up and say if you'd like to receive that, I'll ensure that you're added to this list and you get this story into your inbox with a one-time password so that you can see how that works for yourself. So yeah, just stick a thumbs up or a yes, in case you can't see the emoji options, into the chat box now. And then I'll make sure that you receive that a little bit later on today. And of course, once I send that over, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of the team to ask any questions that you might have. I'd be really happy to answer those. But yeah, a really fantastic feature, lots of great use cases that you could use that for. So that's the first one. Now on to analytics export. So analytics export gives you the ability to download or export all of your workspace analytics as a CSV file. So this means that you can use Shorthand's built-in analytics along with any other content metrics that you're tracking maybe outside of Shorthand to report on your overall multi-channel content strategy performance. So what we find is, of course, within Shorthand, you can add Adobe Analytics or Chartbeat or Parsley, any other tracking in there. Google Analytics, of course, is going to be a very popular one. But we also offer built-in Shorthand analytics. And with this, you can see the analytics within your dashboard very easily. I'll show you that in a second. And then to sort of layer on top of that, what you can do is you can export all of this data from Shorthand in a CSV file and then sort of measure that with any other analytics that you're looking at. So for example, you might have a internal dashboard. Maybe you're using something like Power BI or maybe a Google dashboard or something similar to kind of measure all of the metrics that you're looking at from your whole content strategy. So maybe all of your social media, maybe video tracking as well. Perhaps YouTube is a big channel for you. So you can then look at your Shorthand analytics alongside that. Maybe you're also going to look at your traditional kind of content management system articles as well, measure them against Shorthand. That's a really, really good way of seeing, okay, how are my Shorthand stories measuring up against what I'm already doing within my existing website? As I say, within your existing content management system, so you can comparatively see how the two are working together. So the way that you would access this is something that owners and admins can look at within the Shorthand dashboard. So for this, we'd need to go into the dashboard and we'd need to be looking at a published story to access the analytics here. So this is where you can access the analytics on a per story basis. As this story has no views, which is just something I've been working on today, whereas this one is one I looked at previously. We can see all of the views and the data there. You can also download the analytics on a per story basis. And then if you go into settings and then go into analytics at the workspace level, you can then generate a report from a particular date so that you can look at your analytics there. As I say, that's going to then send a CSV file just to your email. You can also download it from here as well once it's generated and then use that to report on all of your metrics. So let's open this back up. Next up is Social Video Generator. So this feature generates a scrolling version of your story in a video format, which is optimized for sharing on your social media platform of choice. So for example, Facebook, Instagram, X, or LinkedIn. And we found that video can significantly improve engagement on social platforms compared to static images. So for example, LinkedIn showed that video can increase click-through rates by 157%. We think about the shorthand stories and the very format of them and how beautifully engaging they are and all of those visual elements that you're putting together. What this then allows you to do is create a video preview of the story that can help capture that attention on different social media channels. So it's a really, really great way of promoting your stories. This feature is currently available on our early access program. And to find out more about this program, our EAP, and to inquire about joining completely for free, you can contact us. And I'll put the links and contact details in the chat box shortly as well. And of course, follow up with everything from today. But when this is unlocked for you, you'll find it in the promote. At the moment, for all users, we have the ability to create a social media kind of tile or image. So this will give you that extra ability to also create a video. And we'll just look at how we do that now. So I will need to publish this story. So I'll be publishing this anyway. So of course, everyone can see it. So I'll just publish to this URL. That's now live. And then there's two ways that I can access this. So I can access it from Promote Your Story or within the dashboard here. So let's just access it from here. And you'll see we have the static image. So you might be familiar with seeing the static image already within your workspace. And now we see the addition of the social video in here. We can set the video duration in seconds, so 10, 20, or 30. And then we can also choose the amount of the story shown as well. So I'll select this to 50% of the story, and I'll keep that as 10 seconds, and I'll create that video. And that will just take a couple of minutes to process. So I'll just leave that, and then we'll return to that to look at it together and what it's captured. So as you can see, the little shorthand elves are hard at work capturing this story. It shouldn't be too much longer. Of course, the more media that you have in the story, the longer it's going to take to generate that video. It's funny though, with this feature, I know speaking to other customers previously, many would have taken a screen capture of the video, of the story themselves, just scrolling through the story to create a video and then put that on social media. And it's always interesting to see how these kind of features are inspired. And that's certainly something that inspired this feature, is just seeing how others do that. So there you go. I mean, this story as well, of course, I'm kind of using shorthand in a bit more of a presentation way today, just to kind of show you all of these great new features that you can use. So there's nothing kind of too visual in here, but if you think about having a reveal section where you had maybe a beautiful before and after, or if you had maybe some data visualization here, you can kind of see like how effective that video would be in terms of capturing attention on different social channels to, kind of get people to click on that and go through to your story and read your brilliant content. And you just download the video like so. And of course, we're in the Facebook at the moment, but we can kind of move over to the different formats or different channels, I should say, social media channels to capture those different videos for those different channels there. As I say, that's on our EAP currently. And if you would like to join that, please do let us know. So now next steps and follow-up resources. So kept it sort of quite neat and short today. There's just kind of 3 little call to actions or suggestions for you to explore afterwards. So firstly, there's the contact us about new features shared here today. Of course, as mentioned, a couple of them are add-ons. One of them is available on the EAP only. So we will need to help with unlocking those for you. So I will just pop that in here now, so you can contact us afterwards if you'd like to get that unlocked. Next up is joining our global shorthand community, which is called Master the Craft. And there are a number of different elements kind of within Master the Craft, different sections where you can share ideas with other creators, watch videos of previous webinars that we've run. The one that I'm sort of flagging today is our features wish list. Of course, this is a new feature overview today, and hopefully you can kind of see how those 3 features might be able to be used in your next campaign or story that you're putting together. But it would be great to hear what you would like to see in the future. Is there anything that you would like to see in shorthand? Is there anything that you think is missing, or anything that you think would just really help you in terms of executing, really, really well on your content strategy? Please let us know. There's a feature wish list there. There are a number of suggestions there already by other customers and users. If you would like to upvote any of the suggestions that are already there, then you can do that as well. And then finally, you can sign up for the craft newsletter. This gets delivered to inboxes every fortnight. And in this, we share some of the best stories on the web created in shorthand to give you inspiration on what you can do within your next story, and also to see what others are doing. That always serves as a great way as inspiration for your next story. We also flag things like webinars and new features in there as well. So it's really worthwhile getting that delivered into your inbox so you can kind of stay on the pulse of everything shorthand and visual storytelling. So finally, a very short and sweet session today, but we're now into the Q&A part. So if you have any questions at all, please do pop them into the chat box now, and I'll make sure that I answer those for you. It'd be great to hear if you have any questions today. So, got a question that's come through around analytics. Really great question. Can you do it for older stories? So, it's interesting when Google Analytics was sunsetting GA4 in favor of Google Tag Manager, we sent out some comms asking if some customers like our analytics switched on, and there's still quite a few customers that don't sort of have the analytics switched on. Now, our analytics is cookieless, so it's a really great and effective way to make sure you're able to kind of see the performance on your stories. And we definitely want it to be something that everyone has turned on. So that question really depends on whether or not you have shorthand analytics already turned on within your workspace. So if you don't have that turned on currently, the first step to using this export feature would be to turn on analytics, and from the point of analytics being turned on, it would then track the metrics on all of those stories. And then you would be able to download that CSV file, and it would have all of the data from the point at which it started tracking. So sorry to sort of give a sort of a bit of a complex answer there, but it really depends on if you have the analytics turned on already. If you don't, we can absolutely look at turning that on for you. As I say, we want as many of our customers and users to have that turned on. It's a really great feature. So if you're not sure if you have analytics turned on in your workspace just yet, best way of being able to tell that is on any story, if you can see the analytics drop down here, you have that switched on. If you can't see that, it means you don't have analytics switched on, and then please do get in touch and we can switch that on for you. Well, thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining. I hope that was useful. As I say, these sessions are quite short and sweet, where we just go through a couple of different features and kind of walk them through and answer any questions that you might have. So hope that was useful. I'll follow up with the recording and the story that we went through today. Of course, if you do want to follow up with anything via email, please do get in contact. You can reply directly to me, or you can use the contact details that I popped in the chat box. But thank you ever so much, everyone. We will leave it there and have a brilliant rest of your day.